So Gene Gendlin spoke of dead-end feelings, dead-end stories. And in a way, this is how we might normally live our lives, in a kind of patterning from childhood or wherever the pattern began. And that pattern served us when it arose in that moment. But years later, it's out of context. And they can turn into dead-end feelings and dead-end stories. And what that means is they become a reactive habit. So we're not relating to them in a fresh, open way anymore. They're just part of our everyday routine. We're triggered into those patterns. So something could trigger a depression or trigger an anger, or, and then we're in it. And then, it seems like we're owned by them. We become a hostage to them, that kind of thing. When we feel like we're overwhelmed or we're dominated. And in a way, the more we try to get out of it, the worse it seems to get for us. So where focusing comes in is basically coming into exquisite relationship, into a quality of connection, into a quality of befriending. We call it companioning in focusing. So we know in focusing, those parts have within them their own liberation, their own resolution. And our task then, if we move from dead-end feelings and dead-end thoughts, is to learn how to come into connection with them in a way that's safe. So presence is the key, certainly in focusing. And presence in focusing is a little bit different from presence, let's say, in MVC. I believe it offers a very, very embodied and deep and exquisite way of being with those parts. Because when you say I am sad or I am anxious, actually in focusing, we would say something in me is, something in me is feeling, something in me is hurt, or something in me is like that. We might not have a feeling word, but it's there, and it's been there for years. It just keeps erupting. So then we learn to say hello. And then in the hello-ness, there comes an exquisite forward movement, if we stay with it, So using a butterfly analogy, it's a bit like we learn to open our hand to our experience and let the butterfly come to us, rather than trying to snatch it with a net and damage it and hurt it, and it's on the run. Those parts are on the run. They're trying to preserve us. They're trying to save our lives. And very often, they're just keeping distance so they can keep our lives in some kind of shape or form that it recognizes as okay. But of course, for other parts, we want the freedom and liberation. And that comes through this practice of focusing. So there's a sigh. Something's landed there. And for me, it is about the exquisite nature of the gentle, delicate nature of being with, rather than repressing, masking, attacking, forcing away, blaming, because those are our general modus operandi. We generally work in those ways. So we're learning to allow the fresh edge of a new experience to emerge from the old habit. That to me is exquisite beauty. And even now, sharing this with you, maybe there's something in you that's going, there's a possibility around all. There's creating space around it.